Today we have CEO of Koji for Agile with us, Rana. He has 20 years of experience in the industry working in the Agile uh, environment. He has started his company as a one-man startup, built it up into a 100 plus scale up now. Welcome, Rana.
Thank you, Asim. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
So, Rana, tell us about yourself, your experience, and how you got here.
Right, that's a good question. I've been asked many times. So I've been working into the industry for the last 23 years now, and I have been working on agile projects of different scale, different nature. So when I was moving into the senior roles, so the problems around the team working together, teams task tracking, so they were being manifested in different ways and then impacting the deliverables, deliveries, and hence being translated into the financial implications. So when I started my startup again, so this problem again came in front of me, and we have to deal with it because it was having serious financial implications on us if we were not to solve it. So we wanted something which, on top of the existing project management tools, something which could help us in our day-to-day deliverables, which we can all use to make the right decisions, correct decisions, and also to take it one step ahead, we can demonstrate that information, our action plan with our clients as well, to build a level of trust and confidence that we are doing the right thing to deliver this. So this was the main rationale behind developing this product.
Right. So, is it another project management tool like MS Project or a task management tool like Jira?
Not really. No, Koji works in tandem with the other project management or task tracking tools. It's not one, but this is a missing puzzle, missing block in the whole puzzle, right? So we put it that way. The information it presents you with one aim, that how you can quickly get to the conclusion. And there is a story behind this. When we found out, okay, the other project management tools are not giving us that kind of information which I need particularly. So what happened was, I think it was many years back, before we started thinking about such tooling. I had to present a report to my board, and I asked one of my most trusted project managers that can you go in Jira, and there's an incident, I need to make a corrective action and recommend some action items in terms of a project plan or something to the board. So I asked him, can you go there and just dig out and give me a report, help me out, and maybe just take 1 day or 2 days. And this is that gentleman which was the most trusted project manager in the whole tribe. So I gave him this task to do. So he went back, and days passed. The problem, the incident got a bit cooled down. So he took up about 3 to 4 weeks to prepare a comprehensive report. And by the time he came back, I said, "Well, the incident is now cooled down, is gone, and you have produced a report after such a long time." And then he told me the story that once I gave him this task, what were the next challenges. So rather than he came back to me and tell me this has happened, that has happened. So he tried to solve all the problems by himself, collecting all the data, and those were genuine problems actually. And then we figured out lately that it those problems exist in every other organization. So what are the problem? First of all, that report was dependent on the task structure in place. So there was no task structure. So that's the first thing I found. The report was dependent on people creating the right tasks, even having the structure. If you don't create the right tasks, you won't know what has happened because there is no audit, there's no information what you're gonna do. So that was the next thing he asked people to fix. Subsequently, after two things, uh, the report was reliant on some information like estimates or some other bits. So even people, after asking them to fix the problem, the estimates were not right. So he challenged all the teams, to fix up this aspect as well. That at least you need to show me the proper planning. And once he's done that, uh, one part of the report of the incident was also about the time logs. And once he went into the time log, so it was all kind of rubbish in the time logs, which doesn't make sense. So people were just dumping the time. So these 4 5 elements took him a lot of time to come up with the report, and that was the point that I thought if a manager of this scale, of this expertise and degree, is going to take this much time, how much time organizations would be losing in terms of this decision latency, if you put it that word into context. If I don't have data, I can't make a right decision. So it's going to take time, and that is going to cost any organization a lot of money into the finances.
That sounds really interesting. Just wondering, can you show us the product now?
Well, yeah, I mean, definitely different aspects of the product, how it stands out from the competition, from the rest, what features are in there. So I can give you a quick go through.
Okay.
So on screen, if you see the data reliability as a decision maker, my first uh, intent before making any decision based on the data, I would question, is this data right? Is this really the true picture? Because my decisions are going to have some impact. So, and based upon that, we built the data reliability element into Koji, so which sits and monitors and on different use cases and tells you whether the data you're seeing, what is the reliability of that. And then you can definitely, to make it easier for you into whether I need to do some action item on this or I should let it go. So we have implemented the red, amber, green methodology on it as well. So which you can configure from your organization's point of view, what is your tolerance level. So data reliability being the first one on different use cases of Koji, whether it's a team level use case, which means you're managing, tracking your sprints, or it's a project level use case where you are managing project releases or product releases, or it's a portfolio level where you are multiple programs, multiple projects happening, and you want to establish the same thing. And this feature, this element of Koji helps uh, educating people care about their data as well. So things can't be haphazard, once they are fed it into the system. They have to be properly thought of so that when the data travels through different stakeholders, so everyone can see that this is the right data. It has come into the system after a careful review, careful thought process, and teams, managers own this data. So that is the first element of Koji where it stands out, that it tells you whether you are good with this data, you can rely on it, or whether not really. Because if it is not, I would first probably go back to my teams and ask them to fix this before I make any decision. And in a more agile organizations, this will not be on the table for any discussion, because people would see in Koji that data is not reliable, so they will fix it before higher ups of the board takes any decision on it. So taking one step further, once I establish my data is reliable, second bit is whether I need to do something or I'm good. So this is where again Koji helps set up the organization's different kind of monitoring alerts in terms of red, amber, green, where Koji Copilot would just sit on in the background and keep monitoring if values are within your threshold or not within your threshold, whether you need to do some action or you're good with it. So this is all uh, from the sake of allowing people uh, who are limited on time, for example, scrum masters, delivery managers, program managers, all those people, giving them more time to go and fix the actual problems or track or work or think about revenue rather than just falling back at a team level and fixing the problems and firefighting day in day out.
Hmm. So, a quick question, Rana, here. So, what kind of problems are we talking about here, or what? Um, I'm assuming we would see some metrics in the tool. What is it actually going to show us?
Fair enough. uh, if we think where is the cost of a project, uh, where does that lie? So the probably the answer is the most expensive cost in building software is human resources cost, right? In which in terms of we pay, and that equates into the time. So if we start caring about the time and how do we utilize a team's time, a person's time in the right way, in the right direction, with right controls, allowing different activities to happen and different activities to restrict to. So these basics realignment will yield much more fine-grained control over the project health and finances. So if we have a look quickly, I show you. This is a sample screen where different, if you see on the top box, different green indicators and the amber indicators is about the team's habits and their improvement indicators over a period of time, which you really want to see our team adopting to and adhering to different processes, different industry recommendations to keep themselves lean and agile. Uh, the bottom right one, you will see there are some reds and greens. So red one, as a human eye would catch, is something alarming. So if there's an alarm, Koji will point that out. Will make that whether that is a work item, whether that is a feature or whatever it is you have configured Koji for. So it will make sure that okay, your eye catches that. Next one is probably you can see on the left one is your time tracking. So this is again what is your target, how far you are, whether there's a probability of hitting the timelines or in time or not. So these are the very basic fundamental. But what we are trying to do is to convey a message. It's just not a simple charting and graphing application because we know even before we started building Koji, those charts and graphs were out there in the market, right? And it
Hmm.
has they have their own ecosystem. So Koji is not meant to do that. Koji is meant to tell you when you need to intervene, when you should be okay, and if you have to intervene, which items you need to look into to fix the problem. And everything then translates to the profitability, the more profitability, the lesser wastages, more alignment of effort, and all these kind of basics which we do anyway in our day-to-day life.
Right. And is it meant so like tools like Jira, they just give you analytics over one squad or one sprint? Is that how Koji works as well? Or as a program manager, I can look at, or as a C-level executive, I can look at the whole of my department or the whole of my program.
That's a good question. Koji's perspective is organizational's perspective. It looks things from how the resources, which means people, which means time, which means tasks, can be aligned, can be utilized to deliver maximum value. So from that perspective, whether it is one team or whether it's multiple teams, whether it is one project, whether it is multiple projects, one release or multiple releases across different projects and all that, so Koji has this power to combine and paint one picture overall for you. So which means which you may not get into these features out of the box in Jira and other project management tools because of their own structural limitations. So Koji is out of that. Koji's view is how an organization, what data, what action items they need to do to stay on top of their day-to-day affairs and stay on top of their cost control.
Okay, great. Rana, just thinking, who will be the main users of this tool?
Right. So, any decision maker, Asim, I would say. So, the question is we need to look into an organization and find out who is calling the right shots. So, usually, those are the delivery managers who has the visibility of the budgets, the revenues, and their spending and tracking. To some organizations, we have seen this control a bit level down to project managers as well. But if you're really an agile and very open culture organization, and if you really are up to fixing the things from the grassroots level, so this tool is can be used by Scrum Masters as well as the team members, which comprise of developers, quality, business analysts, product owners, and all those team members as well, all those roles as well. So it's for everyone, whoever needs to look into the picture, what is happening, what do I need to do to there's a situation happening, and what should I be doing to fix it. And this becomes more impactful, Asim, this information in this remote world these days. So if some of your teams are, you're in US and some of the team is sitting in a different time zone, and some are, remote, cultural differences. So the purpose of the Koji gives the same sense of urgency, same sense of awareness to every decision maker. So I would say it's more closely related to our delivery manager and project managers. But if you support the culture, our team grows their culture into these avenues as well about the cost control and taking care of the financial health while they are planning and working. So this can be a good addition at a team portfolio as well.
So, Rana, which organizations would benefit from this?
Well, that's a again a good question. That who are the real customers, and that answer lies into who really wants to get benefit out of this. So the bottom line for Koji is to increase the revenue by reducing the wastages and aligning the efforts and all that. So if I start, so definitely the first type of organization is any software house who builds a software, whether it's a project or a product. Uh, they will they are the first level beneficiary. If they start using Koji, they will see they have more fine-grained control over their efforts, and that yields more quality software in a more predictable time frame, hence less wastages. Another type of organization, if you are a services organization who are providing different services, in this today's world of onshore offshore, Koji you will help you coming out of this situation of explaining everything to the clients, and then doing taking the action items, taking them away, and fixing it. So Koji stands very well in bridging the cultural gaps and aligning the effort of the team with the overseas counterparts as well. So that's it helps, and it has proven us on multiple occasions that by bringing visibility and transparency, the trust deficit goes away, the relationship strengthens between the on-site organizations and their offshore partners as well. So we have seen this. So those are the real deal for the services companies who are out there who wants to strengthen their relationships. The third kind of organization, I would say, the end customers, not uh, uh, which by end customers I mean the businesses who are at the receiving end of different systems. So when a vendor develops a product and then gives it to the end customer, deploys it, an upgrade, launches it, usually there are two types of billing models going on in the market. One is fixed price, or you or other for a very large or customized solutions, it's T&M. So if those end customers uh, introduce Koji with their vendors, and Koji has this capability of managing multiple teams, multiple suppliers, multiple vendors. So that will help the end customers and businesses maintain and track all the progress towards the deliverables in a trustable way. So basically, you can't forge the information. The end customers and businesses will be able to see, even though our vendor is saying, I'm going to deliver this feature or this set of requirements or a release in next 2 weeks, but Koji will point out whether is that true or is that's not true. And the positive outcome of this information is that, okay, if this is not coming on time, what else can be done? Is there something by increasing the capacity? Is there something we should that the negotiation should happen? Maybe a couple of features can be delayed, can be done afterwards. So Koji gives that platform of negotiation with the end customer and the vendors. And this works in both ways. This helps then businesses align their deployments, their rollouts, their pilots in a more controllable way. And it helps vendors as well, rather than trying to push hard their teams to deliver. It rather allows them to deliver the stuff with more control, with more thoughtful process, and with more quality. So those are the different use cases we have seen in organizations where uh, organizations are using Koji, and how it is helping the solving the real business problems, real world business problems.
Rana, if someone wants to know more about the product, where do they go?
Right. So we're pretty active on LinkedIn and Twitter. So you can watch our LinkedIn page, which is Koji for Agile. It's a unique name. You can easily find it. And if you just keep on watching our space, we regularly hold different demos, webinars, and podcasts. So you will find information from that page, and you can connect to us for any queries you may have.
Sure. Right. Thanks, Rana. It was great having you. Thanks for your time, and hopefully people will join us or join you in those demo sessions and know more about Koji.
Thank you, Asim. Thank you for your time. It was great seeing you, and thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.